Da 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 da. Mom. Da 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 da. Dad. Da 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 da. Juliet. Da 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 da. Newey. Yay! Yay!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Pancake Friday. This is our 19th episode. I believe this is the 4th week in a row. Are we back on our track? This is the 5th week in a row.
Hell yeah!
Holy! All right, let's go. That's
You forgot to say it's Pancake Friday, spooky edition. Ooh. Yeah.
For those of you that aren't listening to this on the Friday, this is the Halloween podcast.
Yes,
So,
Halloween especial.
We were dressed as the Bluey characters.
Mhm.
It was Chili, the mom.
Mhm.
Bandit, the dad. Juliet was Cutely. Bingo, the baby, little sister. And you might be able to pick it up on the mics, humping or watching the background.
Is she humping?
Maybe the whole squad.
Classic Neve.
Classic Neve. We have a good show for you guys today. We're going to talk about everything Halloween. We're going to do a little review of the candies that Juliet got. Make sure none of them are bogus or anything.
Or crack.
Crack, for sure. We'll double check for the crack. There is one I can already see in here, and we'll wait till we start, like, there's one here that is the wackest gift.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I don't think we should. I'm going to de-promote that business.
Yeah, you should, for sure.
Anyhow, we'll get to that in a bit. We got to talk about Neve's planning a bachelorette party and daddy-daughter first weekend, first day where it's daddy-daughter day.
Yeah.
So it's all exciting things. All right, let's kick her off here. So.
Okay, so, well, I mean, you say it's daddy-daughter day, but you're playing soccer for, like, 2.5 hours of it. So it'll be Rachel and Juliet day.
Yeah, that's true.
And then everyone's coming over.
She's going to be with me and we'll be driving.
Yeah, you will be. Yeah.
It will be good times. Okay, so first off, I just want to talk about some fun Halloween fun facts here. Just kind of stuff to, get everyone in the spooky spirit.
Ooh.
Okay, did you know Halloween is over 2,000 years old and comes from the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain?
Celtic?
Celtics, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Halloween was an American thing.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was from have you seen the Simpsons episode about it?
No.
Oh, the Simpsons. One of their Halloween horrors that they did. They go back to what was the air quote start of Halloween, and I also thought it was American.
I thought something to do with the Salem witch trials and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess not.
I guess not. It's 2,000 years older than that, because I don't think the Salem witch trials, those were what? 100,
like last year?
20 years
What?
ago?
No.
No.
No, I think more than 100. No, probably around 120. Yeah, right?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Trick-or-treating. This practice comes from souling, an ancient custom where children would go from door to door asking for food and money in exchange for praying for the souls of the dead. Wow, times are different.
Yeah.
Times have changed. That's I don't know how I feel about that one. Some little kids please. I'm assuming they're probably
Please, sir.
starving and have nothing. So
I mean, and that makes...
I'll pay for your soul's money, and I'd be like, I'm going to hell with all my money. Thank you very much.
No.
Jack-o'-lanterns. The term jack-o'-lantern comes from an Irish myth about Stingy Jack and his evil spirit. Irish immigrants brought the tradition to the United States during the Great Potato Famine in the mid-19th century.
Classic Stingy Jack.
Did you know that about Stingy Jack?
No, I had no idea.
Do you relate to the potato famine at all, being from the UK?
Well, no, because I'm not from Ireland.
Was it just Ireland that had the potato famine?
Yeah, that's why it's called the Irish potato famine.
So I don't get how the potato famine, was the potatoes racist to the rest of the country?
No, I don't actually know what happened, because they really do leave out of English history classes how shitty the English people were to other people. But I think it was something to do with the Queen wanted all of the potatoes to go to England, so the Irish didn't have any potatoes left for themselves.
just straight up, just didn't want Irish to have potatoes. She's like, without their identity, there'll be nothing.
I don't actually know. You probably have to fact check that, but that's.
I've said this a few times. No one is coming here for this podcast to get their hardcore history.
That's very true.
If you think something is bogus, I would say
probably
look it up against the claims, because
yeah.
These are all coming from Google. These fun facts, so it's on Google, not me.
Yeah, we're spreading some fake news, so
Candy corn, originally called chicken feed. Candy corn became a Halloween staple in the 1950s when it was sold individually wrapped and advertised in October. Okay, one candy corn, a little tiny one, individually wrapped.
Candy corn is gross as well. Like, it tastes like ass. It's so bad.
Well, I love candy corn, and
I knew it was just like causing a ruckus back there.
Jesus, and I love ass, so candy corn's great. The word Halloween. Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve, which means the night before All Hallows Day. All Hallows Day.
I guess that makes sense.
All Saints Day. Yeah, that one's kind of like
self-explanatory.
It's like, okay, if you called it All Hallows Eve and you go, do you know what day it's before? Instantly be like, okay. I'm sorry that we told you that one.
That was lame, yeah.
Let's see if we make it up with the word witch. The word witch comes from Wicca, which means wise one. The Celts didn't view witchcraft as evil.
Wiccan. You stop saying Celts, it's Celts. Celts.
Okay, well, it is Wicca, not
Wiccan.
Wiccan is a thing, but this is Wicca.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing.
Didn't think witchcraft is evil.
Well, no, because of the pagans.
Yeah,
right?
So basically, witches were just
pagans is literally just witchcraft, yeah.
Harry Houdini, the famous magician, died on Halloween night in 1926 from appendicitis caused by 3 stomach punches.
Stomach punches?
So I'm guessing he did a trick where he's like, hit me in the stomach and I won't die.
Awkward.
Great trick, Harry. Okay, and here's the last one for all you Michael Myers fans. Michael Myers' mask. The mask was designed to make Michael Myers seem like a force of evil rather than a person. Okay.
Was a lame one.
I also just feel like, I don't know. When I watch Michael Myers, I don't go, that is a force of evil. I just look at him
like oh, that's a dude in a mask.
All right, well, that's it for the Halloween special. Moving on, what should we do? Should we review these candies?
I think we should do a candy review.
Okay, this is a pretty good spread.
Yeah, I say it's
I'm not
pretty.
gonna lie.
It's a diverse spread, that's for sure.
We got a little McDonald's sticker bucket that was for collecting candy, and we filled it up good just from the Cat Mall there. And we didn't even get there early. Some of the shops ran out of candy.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so let's get at this. I'm not gonna lie, I was hyped for this more than Julia. I was running around like, oh, we'll get this candy.
Derek was. He actually forgot our daughter in the car park, and.
Wait, was Julia supposed to come?
Okay. First, we should have like a tier system.
Okay.
From 1 to 5.
Okay.
5 being harsh bullshit.
Yeah.
And 1 being like god tier candy.
So 5 is bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just start right away.
Or do you want to rate them out of 5?
Let's rate them out of 5. That makes 5 being bad.
Okay.
It just feels more comfortable to me. Being like,
okay.
Yo, this is a 5.
Sure.
It sucks. Just
sure.
feel right in my mouth.
Okay. All right. Which candy should we rate first?
Okay, Tootsie Rolls. We got the big fat chonker one and the skinny little Tootsie Rolls.
I've never had a Tootsie Roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't even know what it tastes like.
You should try one. I think you'd like it.
Okay, give me a little. Can you open it for me?
The only thing I'll say about Tootsie Rolls, I rate them at like a 2.
So not good.
Well, because look, it's like.
What is it?
I can't believe you've never had a Tootsie Roll.
Is it chocolate?
I think the song.
No, it's like caramel.
It's chocolate. It's like Tootsie, Tootsie, have a Tootsie Roll. Yeah. You never.
It tastes really bad.
Yeah, see, that's why I gave it a 2. And the only reason I didn't give it a 1 was because you had to try before I actually gave my real review.
Oh, yeah. Not good.
And that was the skinny one, folks. The fat one's even worse because it's just more.
Yeah, okay, that tastes like ass.
Okay. Oh, maybe I will like it. Okay. What do we got next here? Let's go with the Kit Kats.
Kit Kats, I enjoy a Kit Kat. I prefer a Kit Kat chunky to a regular Kit Kat. But Kit Kats are solid. They're solid candies. I'd give them like a 4.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd give a Kit Kat a 4.
Mm-hmm.
4.
Yeah.
And what about Coffee Crisp?
I don't like coffee and chocolate mixed together. I think it's a stupid combo. Unless it's...
A stupid combo?
Yeah, unless it's a coffee bean covered in dark chocolate. That's the only time it's acceptable.
Not a Coffee Crisp, one of the world's leading chocolate
Those are only in North America, for one.
What?
Yeah, we don't have Coffee Crisp in the UK.
No wonder there's war there all the time.
I'm gonna give Coffee Crisp like a 2.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a 4, just because I'd say it's like if you could have a category within 4, Kit Kat would be a low 4 and Coffee Crisp would be a high 4.
Oh no, Kit Kat's way above Coffee Crisp.
Okay.
Like a whole 2 points.
Let's get all the chocolates out of the way here. What about Aero?
I love an Aero. Again, I prefer a mint Aero, but in terms of Aeros, yeah, again, I'd probably give them the highest rating out of all the chocolate, but honestly, no, actually, I give them a 4. 4.
I'm gonna give Aeros 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, mint Aero is I think one of my favorite. I think mint chocolate is one of my favorite.
Yeah, 100%.
And Aero does a great one.
Really good mint chocolate.
Twix. Yeah.
Twix, I would actually put at a 5. I love a Twix.
Okay. I'm gonna put all the chocolate. To me is kind of a 4. I don't want to.
Yeah, you're not a huge chocolate guy.
Okay, now this one's a hard one to pronounce. Is it Whoppers? How do you say that word?
Whoppers. It's actually pretty easy. I've never had them before.
Do you know what Maltesers are?
Yes.
Kind of like those.
Oh.
Try one?
Yes.
Okay, these. I think you'll. Oh, this is fun. This is like Canadian.
Yeah, because I don't have a ton of candy bake-off. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a Malteser.
Like, would you eat the last one?
No.
Okay, so there's only 3.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.
Okay.
Maybe a 2. I don't like the aftertaste. It's weird.
I'm gonna give those a 1. I actually hate those.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't feed them to the dog even if they didn't kill the dog.
Okay.
This is for me the only 5 chocolate on here.
Purdy's.
This might even be 6. Yeah, we went to Purdy's and they were giving out full on like Purdy's chocolates. Like wow, this is crazy.
I really enjoy re-gift.
Someone's birthday. I'm like, here's a little thumb size.
A tiny Purdy's chocolate.
They're like, did you get these for Halloween?
No.
Okay.
Oh wait, one more chocolate.
Oh, Neve's favorite.
It's not my favorite, but I do really enjoy these, especially at Christmas time. The classic chocolate coin. I'm gonna give that a 3 because it's probably super cheap chocolate, but I just think the novelty of it's cool.
The irony was it was like at the like nice jewelry shop where they're giving it out, and I was looking at the guy, and I was like,
you're like,
he
you
was
disgust
like,
me.
Candy for your kid, and I was like, cheap motherfucker. He's just smiling, and I'm like, I'm on you, you little bitch.
You know that chocolate's probably worth actually more than the $1 that it's representing.
You think it's worth more than that?
How much is a chocolate bar?
A chocolate bar is like $3 or $4.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't understand how that makes that $1 worth more than that.
Well, that's not a whole chocolate bar, right? But if you calculate the amount of chocolate that's in there, we should just start paying for stuff in chocolate. Is what I'm trying to say. Is what I'm trying to say.
Look at how big it is. Chocolate. Okay, folks. We're gonna try and see. You know what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
We're gonna see if we can get across Canada, and this is what we start with: just one chocolate coin.
Oh yeah, that'd be so fun.
Yes, Juliet, watch the stove. We're going on this.
They're all on.
Don't worry. Okay, I'm gonna just pop us into my favorite category next.
Gummy candies.
Gummy candies. Okay, let's start off with air. Oh my gosh, Airhead Blue Raspberry.
I'm not super big on gummy candies. You know this. If I'm gonna have something sweet, I'm more likely to have chocolate than gummy candies. Or pastry.
I love a pastry.
Yeah. But in terms of candy, I think that's probably the best one out of the ones there. So I'd rate that a 5 because it's blue rasp as well, and blue is the best flavor. So
I'll give this a 4. Blue raspberry head. Now this is my. I'm just gonna go first. Jolly Rancher gummies.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the watermelon or cherry watermelon or something. These are my favorite candies. These are so
really?
juicy good. Oh, it's like my mouth's watering just talking about it.
Put it in there.
I don't know if I'm gonna put it in the thing.
You're just gonna hold it.
Not even eat it. Yeah, I'll give that a 5 for sure.
Okay. Put it in. Next, the Sour Patch Kids. You love Sour Patch Kids.
This, Sour Patch, I give honestly a 3.
What? You always get Sour Patch Kids.
No, I don't.
I swear you do.
Like them, but they're not like. I'm just a 3.
Okay, Sour Patch Kids are like a 2 for me.
And what about real fruit sours? Oh, see, those are 3.
Yeah, I get a 2 for me.
Okay, now
Wait. We got Starburst too.
Starburst are freaking 5s for sure.
Yeah, I'd say that. And I think these count as gummies.
Twizzlers?
Yeah, Twizzlers are
I'm gonna
gummy.
say the Twizzlers are for me 4s. The colored one is the gay rainbow one.
Yeah.
It ironically is different flavor than the regular Twizzlers,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still the exact same flavor. It's not like, oh, it's a new flavor. You're like, it's a little different.
Yeah, Twizzlers are a 1 for me, and that looks really interesting. That one does.
This is like, it looks like a little.
It looks like a Asian gummy candy.
Yeah, it's individually wrapped. Should I eat it right off here live?
Well, will you share it with me?
You want like I'll suck on it for a bit.
No, just half it. I don't want the remnants out of your mouth, but it looks like a really good gummy candy, you know.
Let's see.
And I did do a squidge test, yeah. ASMR. Oh.
Kind of tastes a little soapy, but like not heavy soap.
It's kind of a weird texture. It's kind of like thick,
I was expecting it to be more like
squidgy. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the candy that you don't give to your child because it might be drugs.
Yeah.
I think we ate the drugs.
Oh, that's what that was.
Okay, now we're gonna get into the final like stuff here. We're almost wrapping this up. Okay, we have suckers. We have some A&W root beer ones.
Like 0. That's
I
a
love
0
root
for me.
beer,
I
so
hate
like
root beer.
those. Do you like any like grape flavor?
Yeah, I like lollipops.
Grape lollipops. What are these licky ones? Tootsie Pops. Do you have any?
Are they like Tootsie Rolls? Because those are gross.
They're like you've never seen. There's the like how many looks would it take to get to the middle of a Tootsie Pop?
Nope. Nope.
And then it's a weird looking owl that would lick it, and
Nope.
then he'd be like, "Little Timmy, you better know how many licks," and you never know. And then the inside was yes, a Tootsie Roll. At the end of it all.
Oh.
So you probably won't like it.
Nope.
Okay, I'm just gonna give overall the suckers for me. It's like a 2.
It's just like eating sugar, man. Like it's just like sucking on sugar. Yeah.
This feels like something. that the
Unless
baby
it's like
cream-
a chup chup. I love a chup chup.
Oh, there's one right here.
A chup chup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are pretty
Those
good.
Are pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
But I feel like pops or what are these called? Suckers, liquors,
Lollipops.
lollipops. I feel like this is like a pre-World War II candy when they're like, "Look, we figured out how to put sugar on a stick."
Yeah,
It's like
probably.
We're kind of in the future where we don't need
Yeah.
that. And then what do you think? These are my favorite rockets. You ever had
Oh,
rockets?
see, we call those what do we call those? We don't call them rockets. We call them something fizz, like fizz something.
So
I can't remember what we call them.
These are just, they taste like chalk. There's no fizz to them.
Yeah.
Okay, well, these I think are the dumbest candy. Like, Rockets, everyone has like a random pair of Rockets that have just been sitting in a cupboard for like 8 years. Just after Halloween. Okay.
I don't mind those. I think they're okay.
They're okay. And now our final thing, the business we're boycotting.
Just like -5.
So get this. We're at Cat Mall, walking around, kids everywhere, having the time of their life, dressed up. And you go to the dentist, and they're handing out toothbrushes.
So lame.
But not only are they handing out toothbrushes, like, genuinely, these toothbrushes, we're talking about saving the planet. Stop making these shitty toothbrushes. Like, these are shitty toothbrushes. No one uses these.
Yeah, they're plastic toothbrushes wrapped in plastic.
And then, like, even the bristles on them, I'm like, yo, this is like...
No one's going to use that toothbrush. Yeah.
What a fucking waste.
Yeah.
And
And also, like, I find it really stupid because, like, dentists aren't covered under MSP. So it's like, do you not want a job?
yeah.
Like, I can do it for you if you give me a toothbrush.
And let's be real here too. Like, what little kid goes and they're like getting all this candy and they get a toothbrush like, oh, I'm gonna protect my teeth now. Fuck candy. Like, no. Like, literally exact same thing as we did, but in front of the dentist. Like, I hate the dentist. Oh, and randomly, there's a new shop in the mall.
Oh, it's like a GameStop or something.
It's like board games, collectibles, and all this sports memorabilia. And yeah, they were giving out 3 packs of Pokemon cards.
Oh, which Pokemons did we get?
Get this. So we got I don't know, some guy named Dusk Noir, but it's shiny.
Ooh.
Shiny. Another one called Houndoom that's shiny.
These are worth. These might be worth like 50 million.
One actually will be one you both know. I don't know any of the other ones, but this one, shiny Gengar. So anyhow, that I don't know that somehow me and Neve got 9 Pokemon cards for Juliet's Halloween.
Yeah. Do you know what's fun about going for Halloween trick or treating with Juliet right now? She can't eat any of the candy, so that's just ours.
Yeah.
So if you want candy on Halloween, have a kid.
Have a kid, and then you can steal theirs.
Yep.
And tell them to go to bed early, and it's only like 3 in the afternoon.
Go to bed. It's bedtime.
How did you like? I gotta say, that was probably one of the cuter things we've done with Juliet.
That was so cute. Yeah.
And then like us dancing in the courtyard. I'm pretty sure Juliet's gonna be in the Cat Mall Gazette.
I think so. Yeah.
If you keep your eyes open for anything Cat Mall, I think our baby will be in there.
Yeah, because they took a ton of pictures and videos of her.
She was freaking cute as heck.
Yeah, she was so cute. Everyone in that mall was like, oh.
Yeah, and then there's like all these other ugly kids that were there too. And like one of them was like, "Mama, where's my mama?" And I was like, "Get out of the way. The baby's here."
But no, it's funny because I think that's the closest we're ever gonna get to feeling like Disney characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we were all dressed as Bluey,
Did
and
you bring up that we're still in costume?
no.
Yeah, we're still in our costume.
But honestly, like, people were asking to take photos with us, coming up and being like, oh, it's Bluey, blah, 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 and all of that shit.
Yeah.
And I felt powerful.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go back to my normal life now.
I felt like we could have swayed an election.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, I'm not going to go there about any, like, political stuff, but I just feel like if we wanted to, we could have swayed results in some elections.
Yeah.
Not American politics. That's crazy. Like,
No,
we're talking about something crazy,
no.
like, what's the new place going in the food court? I think we could have swayed
Oh, yeah,
that
100%.
election, like,
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if they let the kids vote.
Yeah, and I would be like, we need ice cream.
I say, honestly, that's probably why they don't let kids vote. Just start some, like, Bluey propaganda in Cat Mall.
Yeah, it was really okay. The craziest thing was, for those that haven't either been out to get Halloween costumes, like, to be honest, I dress up almost every single year.
Yeah.
as long as I can think of. I have like the craziest chest of like things now, and I've actually lost some costumes too. But for those of you that don't, or maybe just haven't gone with a kid, what was the place we went and got our Bluey costumes?
Spirit Halloween.
Spirit Halloween in Park Royal. Like, I'm sorry, Halloween has just gone crazy in the last couple of years. Like, when I know, like, when we were kids, like, oh, back when I was kids, like, but like, I'm referring to like, we had cool costumes growing up too, but there was just kind of like a decent amount. Like, everyone would be different things, but it was kind of like a lot of people had to just make their own costumes.
Yeah.
Maybe you'd go get like a samurai sword. Genuinely, there is like a freaking warehouse of just everything. Costumes.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to build your own costume, there's so much stuff to build your own versus if you want to just buy a full-on costume that's so good. Like, these things are incredible for like, what were they, like $70, $80?
For all of them,
No,
no, they weren't $70 each. They were like $50 each.
Oh, that's even crazier.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can't remember where I was going with this. I was just
You can just get a load of costumes, but do you know what? It's like, it's fun for me because we don't like, we have Halloween in the UK, but it's nothing like Halloween here. Like, you might get like some trick-or-treaters, or like someone will throw a party or something, but here, like, the houses go like all out. Like, I don't know if you've been down Edgemont recently. I drove back through Edgemont and it was like a mess. There was people everywhere. But like some of the houses down there, like, people are fucking rich here as well, right? So they like deck out their houses.
If you turn left and before Edgemont there's some, it's like if you turn right to go into Edgemont, you can do that really
I went
left.
towards the Lucas Center.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way I came back. And there's one with these two like the two huge skeletons that are like bigger than the house, and then they have like tons of regular sized skeletons crawling all over the house.
What if instead of buying a house, we just bought decorations for what would be a house, and then, like, we kind of like
and do what with them?
Like
just put them in storage.
No, you put them like in
one day when we have a
you
house.
put them, like, for example, we'd go live in the woods because that's what we could do, and then you'd walk in and there'd be like all this Halloween stuff. You're like, oh my god.
Oh, dude, that would be so fun. We should just go around stealing other people's Halloween what are they called? Decorations. Sorry, my words didn't work for a second there. Anyway, and we should just put them all up in the forest.
That would be so scary.
Yeah.
What if you did that? You went like 20 minutes, half an hour off of like a main trail up at Grouse.
Oh, just like, trolling people so hard.
You like made it all Blair Witch. You did like hung all that shit.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That would be crazy. Yeah, I had a really fun time at Halloween. So
yeah, me too. We took Juliet's little walker thing because she's pretty much walking now. She's like taking steps, but with her walker she can like rip. So we took her walker to the mall and she was just like walking around. It was super cute.
Okay, I also thought this was so funny. So we went with Kristen and Hayden, Casey, and Hayden's what, 3.5, or is he 4?
He's 4 tomorrow. It's his birthday tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was so funny. So Juliet can walk with her little walker, and she's like walking with it. And Hayden was like, "I want to walk with it," and so he didn't like push her off.
No. He just wanted a turn.
Yeah, he just wanted like a turn on it. And I was like, but Hayden,
you can walk. That's just kids though. They see another kid with something and they want to go, and it's like, yeah.
As soon as Juliet let it go and he just started walking with it, and right away he was just like, oh, okay.
He was like, this is boring. Why does she like this so much?
That's sweet. And then I got to give a shout out to my boss Tanya. I was supposed to work until 6:45. That's like my usual shift on Thursdays, and I'm so happy. She blocked off my second half of my day, and I just had no foresight to the idea of like, oh, it's gonna be Halloween. I better not work late, and she just did it for me. So thank you, Tanya, because that was
shout out to Tanya, because men don't think of these things, and
I was too busy being a man and putting on my mask and eating meat while flexing hard.
I love that that's your stereotype of what a man is. Putting on musk, eating meat, and flexing hard. Sounds about right.
If I actually had to define what a man is, they wear a flannel shirt and a toque with a beard, chopping wood.
That's just a Canadian man, babe.
Damn straight.
That's what I is.
Have you seen that picture of me after I chopped?
Yeah, I have seen that.
Love that picture. Okay, wow. I got a lot to talk about, so I don't think we're gonna get it all in today.
Okay.
Okay, this is a little change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
From which has been a lighthearted or like.
Oh God.
I know it's not negative. It's not negative. It's just it's not at that like upbeat like yo we're in costume level.
Okay.
So, I always have this ongoing thing. This is I think just for my entire life.
Yeah.
Thought of like how much your perception shapes your reality.
Yeah.
And what I always attribute this to is so I'll work out, I'll do all this stuff to be in really good shape and I'll feel really good and like I look really good.
Yeah.
Right? But then let's say for like
And he's modest as well, so that. Yeah.
and I'll feel good and then I'll like I don't know have a cheeseburger, don't work out for 2 or 3 days, and then all of a sudden you look in the mirror. And
Yeah.
like it's not that you think you're like I'm a fat piece of lard, but you're like like damn, and so you're now in this like negative space where you see yourself. That
Yeah.
way, and then you do something that like for example like you go back to the gym, and then all of a sudden it's only been once. So
Yeah.
First off, it was impossible that things could change on 3 days, but then also you go back once, and all of a sudden you're back in that like space you were before.
Yeah.
And how much your like perception really just your perception is so important for everything.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is because you and I both had that. We started getting back to the gym and came home and felt so good. Like we were both like, oh, I feel so good after.
Yeah.
And you were saying you're like, I where I thought I was versus where I am.
Yeah.
That's like your
Massively
perception.
different.
Do
Yeah.
you want to talk towards that? Because that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, so I think it's because, like, for me it's hard as well because I think women in general get it really hard in terms of, like, body image and everything like that, right? Like, I'm not saying that men don't, but yeah, it's a bigger issue, I think, for women. And it was one of the things that was super hard for me was after having Juliet was being like where I am now compared to where I was before that. And obviously, like, I don't regret any of it, and I'm super grateful that my body was able to give me our baby. But it does, like, pregnancy and then post-pregnancy, your body shifts massively. Your hormones change, like, what the stuff that you could do before, it changes, not like what you can do, but like before we weren't being like super health conscious. Like, I was still eating whatever I wanted, drinking whenever I wanted, and kind of like being able to maintain my physique because I could also go to the gym whenever I wanted, you know?
The gym like 5 days a week.
Yeah. Well, like, not actually, but I was just.
You were though. You were.
I was going like 3 or 4 times a week.
You were like ridiculously fit.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and it's like I could maintain that. But now also, like, my hormones have shifted, so even if I had the time to do what I was doing then now, my body would still be different. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's never gonna be the same, and I'm okay with that. But it's also like something that you really have to come to terms with.
Yeah, well, I mean, hormones are more than just the sound your girlfriend makes at home. Oh yeah, I'm burning the listener there. Come on, that was great.
That was not funny
That was
at all.
awesome.
It's not funny at all. It's been done, Derek. It's been done.
But in all honesty, yeah, hormones, like, it actually is everything.
They're
Like,
huge.
so
Yeah.
it's weird because we have, like, when I say we, like, the public opinion, this
Mhm.
isn't like the doctors and scientists, they know all
Mhm.
this stuff, but, like, the public opinion still seems to lean towards the idea of, like, oh yeah, women in their hormones, they like to cry, and you're like, well, in essence, like, part of that is true. Is like, if a woman's crying, that's how powerful hormones are.
Yeah.
But to assume that, like, hormones are just this, oh, you just cry and you're emotional, that's so wrong. They, like,
No.
regulate, like,
Your whole body.
everything.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
And that's not just for women. Hormones regulate men's bodies as well. It's
Yeah.
just our hormones are different.
Absolutely.
Like, you talk about estrogen and testosterone. Those are two hormones right there that are, like, big factors in that. But also hormones contain stuff like your metabolism. So, and, like, that's why, like, stuff like PCOS, which is, it's like a hormone thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
Polycystic ovarian
Syndrome? Yeah. But that as well, it's like, that's something that's to do, and it affects your metabolism. It also affects your hair growth. It affects your, how likely it is for you to have kids. You know, it affects your whole body, basically. So, you know, even 13 months postpartum, like, my hormones are still off. They're still whack right now. But I went back to the gym thinking, like, I'm going to have to, like, start from day one all over again. And go back to, like, very, very basics. But in reality, like, I haven't lost the ability to do what I was doing before. And that's what I was really scared of. I thought I was going to, like, have to literally be, like, from day dot. But I still have, like, my knowledge of my form. I still have good strength. Like, I'm still lifting, nowhere near as much as I was lifting before, but I'm not kind of, you know, having to start with the bar and work my way up again.
Yeah.
I'm starting at a higher level than I started at before. I still have the ability to do the stuff that I was doing before. So I think, like, and I have the stamina as well. Like, I went in and I did cardio this week, and I wasn't expecting to be able to, like, push myself to go hard. But I did, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't think getting back into it is gonna be hard as I initially had in my head, and therefore I'm more motivated to do it, because previous to now, every time I've gone back to the gym, like, I've been like, oh, I've got to work out, but I'm like, I'm so unmotivated because I know I've got to start from day one. And now I'm like, okay, I'm not starting from day one. It's just, like, getting back into being fit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question would be, what is day one? Like, I guess if your day one was thought you couldn't do a sit-up or something.
No, no, but, like,
But
but
I know what
yeah.
I dig what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this to everyone that, like, get jacked up and get motivated. Like, it's harder to get to the gym or whatever you're at. I'm not, like, I personally have a belief that, like, the gym's mandatory. But that's a lot of people
Yeah,
disagree,
but yeah.
I don't want to get into that right now. If people really want to know, I can explain why. And it's not like a harsh
No.
criticism. It's just, like, I think, like, the benefits of it is like brushing teeth. But the main thing being, if you're sitting there at home right now listening to this and you're uninspired and you're lazy or you're tired or you're down, just
Yeah.
go do it. Go try. It's at this point, and I've said this to you so many times, it's about going and doing it. And, like, a lot of the time you think you're like, oh no, I don't want to do this, but it's harder to get started. And then once you start doing it,
Yeah.
it's not that it's easy, but it's not as hard as you think. Like, for example, like, remember I always used to tell you, go to the gym for 45 minutes. If you don't work out, just be there for 45 minutes. And you're inevitably going to be like, okay, well, it's either you work out the whole time and it's really hard, even if you're doing, like, 2
Yeah.
push-ups, or you just, like, are gonna be there for 45 minutes. But the main thing I'm saying is, like, start now. Everything fitness and health is about consistency for long periods of time. So if you're feeling, like, down and unmotivated, just start now, because 3 weeks from now, when you're like, oh, I wish I did, well, you're 3 weeks into that already.
Do you know, that actually made some sense to me when you said that to me the other day. What was it? It was basically that, is like, when you're feeling unmotivated, just think, like, in 3 weeks time, when you actually decide you do go, how much those 3 weeks of already going will make a difference,
Yeah,
or
like,
something to that effect.
yeah, like basically, like if you're like sitting there, and this happens all the time,
Yeah.
to people, right? So it's not, I'm not like criticizing people. It's just it's what it is. People will go like to me, they're like, oh yeah, like I want to go to the gym. They go once or twice, and
Yeah.
like, I feel great. They even acknowledge it, and then they don't go for 3 weeks, and because for some reason they're like, I don't know, there's some psychology of why they don't.
Yeah.
Go, but they like genuinely want to deep down. And then all of a sudden they're 3 weeks there and they're like, oh, I went back. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, if you just grinded for those 3 weeks,
Yeah.
you would be 3 weeks ahead.
Yeah. And then and that I think really like motivated me when you said that as well. I was like, no, you're actually like right. And now I've found a way that works for me, because I'm not an early riser. We know that for a fact. I'm not a morning person
Whoa, stop the
at all. But I what I'm doing now is I put Juliet to bed and then I just go to the gym, and that works for me. And I felt great. I went twice in a row this week. I feel really good. I'd like to go tomorrow as well, like providing that timing wise I can, which I think it will work out. But yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
But yeah, I want to go tomorrow as well, because like when I'm there I feel so good, and when I come home I feel so good afterwards as well. So it's like, why would I not be doing that? And also as well, I'm very much like you saying that to me, and I know this isn't the best mindset to have, but it's my mindset and I've always had it, is I love to like do things as a fuck you. You know this about me. You've always known this about me.
I wonder if I do that.
But when and it's not that you said that I couldn't do it. You like gave me a reason to do it. But when people think I can't do something, I'm like, no, fuck you. I'm going to prove you wrong. So you saying that to me the other day, I was like, it wasn't like that, but it was kind of like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know it wasn't you doubting me, but it pushed me to be in that same kind of mindset as I am when people say I can't do something. Yeah.
Okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say about working out for today, and this is like my one of my ethos. Cause I don't care. I like am passionately into fitness. Like
Yeah, you're
out, right?
yeah.
So, like, there's part of it like I don't mean to toot my own horn, but it's like this is something like I work at a lot all the time.
Well, you have a lot of knowledge about it. Mm-hmm.
But I also worked like I've actually like put in the effort.
Yeah.
So one thing I always think to myself whenever is like, you know, those days when you go in and you have the best workout ever. Like you're like, I don't know, let's say you're like it doesn't have to be you like PR'd on stuff, but you're like, yo, like,
Oh, I thought you said pee hard, and I was like, I've never peed at the gym.
But like you like, I don't know, you do that one where you're like, your muscles are like swollen and you're like,
Yeah.
and you look in the mirror because you're all jacked up, and you're like, yeah, and you, if you were to objectively look at it, you're like, they lifted the most weight, the longest, the fastest, the hardest they do. So
Yeah.
like that's the A1 workout.
Yeah.
I don't look at it that way. Those are great workouts when you get those ones.
Yeah.
But I always look at it the other way. The best workouts where you should really be like, fuck yeah, pumped up, is the ones where you actually don't do much and you don't want to be there at all.
Yeah.
You're like the ones where you're like literally sleeping on the couch. You're like, I don't want to go. Should I go? Should I not go? Should I go? Should I not go? You're like, fuck it. Even if I go, I'm not gonna really do anything because I'm lazy. But you still go, and maybe all you do is maybe your more normal workout is you're like, you know, I do some like deficit lifts, and then I do some negatives followed up by some cardio, and then I do some plyometrics. But this is all you did is you went and did some bench presses and some bicep curls. So like the complete opposite of this like air quotes great workout.
Yeah.
I'll always argue that workout, the shitty bicep curl bench press one, is the best.
Well, yeah, because it's about and it's about showing up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and I think that's, and I don't think that's just applicable to like working out. I think that's applicable to anything you do in life.
100%.
Half the battle is showing up.
100%.
Like, even like sometimes in life you got to do shit you don't want to do in order to be your best self, and like showing up is half the battle. So if you show up, get her done, and even if it's not like the most invigorating or whatever, at the time, it doesn't matter because you showed up and you did it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, so to anyone there that's feeling that, get the fuck out there. Just go show up, and I promise you, it's gonna, like, it benefits and it builds, and you get that. That's like where you get momentum in life out of nothing.
Yeah, I
like,
agree.
Created it off of like shitty circumstance. So I hope that pumped up, even if one person like was like this,
Yeah.
but then they didn't do anything, but they were like, they genuinely for a few seconds was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
We did our job. They stand up, let's do it, and then they're like, nah. Like,
Change
right,
my mind.
Okay, cool. That was sweet. That was really awesome.
Can we do a pause?
Yeah, of course. All right, sorry about that. We had a heavy firework thing.
Yeah.
Explosion.
If you can hear little, it's not a gunfight outside. It's fireworks.
Oh, this was America. Okay. This is a deep one. Okay. Does
Oh God.
Does my hurt equal your hurt? And what I'm referring to is like rich versus poor. So for example, if we can't, you can, so like obviously someone that's in a war zone.
Yep.
Their pain is like.
Oh God, this is fucking deep. Jesus.
Yeah. So I'm not referring to that because that's like an obvious one.
Yeah.
I'm referring more to, let's say, like our lives, where there's like people that have. It's not that people have bad lives. It's just there's people that have like really freaking crazy lives, like money wise, and how someone like you and I, because this is just one of my clients. They basically came in, and this happened honestly quite a bit. Not all my clients, but there's like a group of them where they're obviously clearly very wealthy, and the things that they complain about are so like far from a complaint. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it was so annoying. The nanny, she called in sick today, so I had to stay home with my kids instead of going to Hollyburn and having drinks with the lady. Meanwhile, she always goes for drinks with the ladies at Hollyburn and has the nanny there. So it's not like this is the one day. It's like this is the one day she's not.
Right.
So,
Right.
But the thing is, and that example is a little extreme. That wasn't what it is. But like, it's stuff like that. Where it's like, is it a problem? But then the person that like I can tell it really bothers them. So does it matter if my issues versus your issues, like, that, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does my hurt equal your hurt?
Well, I'm gonna throw this back to perception. We were talking about that earlier, right?
Yeah.
Like it's your whole perception on life and like what you know, and I think like what you feel is what you feel. So if you're pissed that you can't go to Hollyburn and have drinks with the ladies, like, yeah, fair. Like, that's something you're pissed about. You have a right to be pissed about that. Right. To you and I, that's a non-issue, right?
Yeah.
But also, like, I'm sure that stuff that we're experiencing would be a non-issue to that person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's just, it's hard to say when you're living two completely different lives. And even within that, you know, like, there's stuff where, like, it's not just, like, a financial thing. It's also a personality thing.
Well, yeah.
Because,
that's kind of the
yeah.
of it is everyone assumes, like, well, you have money. How can you not, like, how can this be an issue? But it kind of proves the point of, like, well, if you base things just on money, then yeah, I guess you can.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
It's not the case at all, because even if you take financials completely out of it, something that hurts your feelings might not hurt my feelings, or vice versa, you know? And that's just a person to person thing. Even if and it goes to that saying, you know, walk a mile in my shoes and then you'll know. Well, I think that's kind of bullshit, because even if you walk a mile in someone else's shoes, you still got different feet.
Yeah.
You know, and I just thought of that just on the fly. Thank you. But it's, you know, no. I actually, because I used to have a really, really hard time with this, not understanding why people would get mad at me for doing stuff that I wouldn't get mad at them for, or why people would do stuff to me that I wouldn't do to, like, stuff like that, you know? And went and talked to a counselor, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is years and years ago. But I was in therapy, and the therapist said to me, she was like, you are aware that, like, every single person has a completely unique brain. And that's based off nurture, nature, like, personality defaults, like, who that person is to their core. Everyone is completely different. So even if you have lived exactly the same life as someone else, they might not see the things the way that you see them, and there are reasons for that.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, that it's obviously, as a therapist said it, it's not like
Yeah.
your therapist is right.
Yes. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. It's kind of another anecdotal thing, kind of to what you said about the shoe thing, is like I liked is if you lived my life, you would be me too.
Yeah.
Because
No, not true. I don't believe that.
No.
Yeah. No, but that's I know.
Yeah. You don't believe that, fair, but I think it lines up perfectly with what you're saying, because it is like, you're like, everyone's this unique experience, but if you lived my exact life through my perception, you would be me.
Yes, through your perception, you have to add that though.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I meant, is like, if you were literally me and you had all my life experiences, you would be me too.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's a weird thing to think, but it is kind of true.
Yeah.
But I also don't like that saying, because it kind of writes off people as like, if you're shitty,
Yeah.
and then be like, well, you'd be me too. If you
It's like, no.
No, that's not
No,
what it's
but...
One sec. Sorry about that. The dog was just whining because she wanted her gay headband.
It's right for headband. Okay, but the point I was gonna say is, like, that whole thing of, like, oh, if you'd been through what I've been through, you'd be me too, I don't think is fair, because take, for example, siblings. You know, even yourself and your brother are so different.
Right.
Like, so different, but you grew up with the same experiences, but you're different people internally.
Yeah. Well,
do you know what I mean? And that's the point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess that's actually a perfect example.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you and your siblings grow up in the
same environment,
and be so radically different?
Yeah.
But again, yeah.
It is. It's not just nurture versus nature. It's also, like, who you are, your core, and I don't know if I believe in souls, but, like, that's what I would describe a soul as.
One thing I find with psychoanalysis, I find it on one level very interesting. On another level, I think it's kind of an asshole thing, because you start, as soon as it really dehumanizes a person when you're like, oh, well, this trauma and this factor make you who you are, and then it turns out to be right. I don't like that about it at all. But it is also very interesting always.
Yeah.
But when I find too, sometimes we psychoanalyze, even just therapy in general. So I'm not dissing therapy. I do think there's a huge place for therapy. So it's not that, but I do think there's a thing within therapy where if you have narcissistic tendencies, maybe let's take a step back from narcissist, and maybe you just really, really like yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's possible you show up in therapy and continue to be an asshole, but the whole time you're doing things like this. In therapy, I'm working on this, and you, instead of actually, like, working on things, you kind of give yourself the scapegoat of, you talk about yourself all the time, and then when you go become an asshole, you've kind of, like,
justified it.
Like, me and my therapist are working on, or we talked about it, who I am, and then when stuff like that, and I've met people like that, and when that happens, I'm kind of sitting there being like, yeah, I mean, like, it's cool you're going to therapy, but, like, you're kind of just being an asshole, and then like, I don't know, it's you're using therapy as a reason to be an asshole, and then be like, no, I'm going to therapy, and you're like, that doesn't change.
Yeah, that doesn't change you being an asshole. Yeah, I think I'm a really big advocate for therapy, but I'm not just an advocate for therapy, I'm an advocate for finding the right therapist for you. Because you can go to any old therapist and talk about yourself and it doesn't really do a whole lot, you know? But if you find someone who you really like connect with in terms of like just they have an understanding about what you're trying to gain from therapy, then I think it's really, really beneficial.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, this is a shift into something a little less heavy.
Okay, thank God.
I don't think that was like heavy.
No, I didn't think it was like heavy.
Okay, so did you hear about this? This is probably old news to a lot of people. But
Yeah.
again, sticking to this trend, I don't have social media. I don't read the news very much anymore. So most of what you're hearing is just my jotted down thoughts.
Us slowly catching up to the rest of the
So,
world.
did you hear about where SpaceX, they caught a rocket?
Space sex?
Space. Well, I wasn't there, but now I am. What is sex like in 0 G's? Can you have a baby
wonder.
in space? Can space have a baby in you?
There's only one way to find out.
Let's test this out. NASA send me and Neve to space. You need your own little capsule, preferably red velour lined everything.
Ready for Juliet too. Yeah. We're actually, if we ever have any other children, they're all going to be Juliet, like numbers, and then numbers.
Mommy, I'm a 13-year-old boy. Quiet, Juliet, 13. Okay, so SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, for the people that don't like Elon Musk because he makes rockets or whatever.
Yeah.
People just don't like Elon. They caught, you know how they've been landing their rockets?
No.
You didn't know this? Okay, this is like way old news.
No.
So that what SpaceX, like the true amazing thing about what Elon Musk has been able to do with SpaceX is it's not that he's transporting things into space via rockets. It's he's made it so he can land rockets in the middle of the ocean, like full on like missiles looking things, right?
Yeah.
But they have payloads in them. He can shoot them up into space, bring them to the ISS, the International Space Station, with things like NASA, all the countries of the world have been contracting him to bring stuff there.
Yeah.
And then bring the rocket back down and land it straight up. So in essence, you could refuel it and just shoot it right back up.
Oh, crazy.
Okay, so that's like the big thing.
That's cool. Yeah.
But the bigger thing, this is even crazier.
Okay.
Than that.
Wow. I'm already hyped.
He's now catching the rockets. So the rockets are a picture like this giant tower with like a claw that sticks out like this. The rockets come down from space. They then have these like little hooks that shoot out.
Yeah.
And it then like goes into this little clasp thing and catches it. Now, why this is so big? Because it makes the rockets faster refueling, easier to like get back. Like it's a quicker transit time to reuse the rocket. But the main thing is, you know, when you see in movies like in sci-fi, and they like dock.
Yeah.
And you see it's like, dude, Space Odyssey had like the super long ass scene of them docking. Basically, this is like day one of that. Is this ability to like put something, dock it, catch the rocket. It's all docked there. They can then shoot.
Dock it, catch the rocket.
So this is cool, and basically this, to me, I actually think we might Star Trek in our lifetime.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're gonna Star Trek in our lifetime.
Do you know what the plot of Star Trek is?
Yeah, Trek and Star, isn't it?
I mean, that's not wrong.
I don't know, but I believe in our lifetime we're actually like a pretty fucking cool generation, if you ask me. Yeah. We talking about we as in me and you, we saw the millennium, which is a once in a lifetime thing. Yes. Not even a once in a lifetime thing for like Juliet. She's never gonna see a millennium. Loser. Don't call our daughter a dumbass.
Her kid's a dumbass.
Oh yeah, fair. And then we lived through a whole ass global pandemic, which is pretty fucking crazy if you think about it. And then we are gonna be the generation where we see that stuff, Star Trek and shit, but also we're gonna be the generation that we're going to see AI overtake the human capacity. Like, and honestly, that scares the shit out of me. It's really terrifying, but we're going to witness it.
Okay, well, okay, first off, I want to tell you what Star Trek is, because you don't know.
Okay.
So, Star Trek is what happens at the start, and I don't watch Star Trek. I'm not like a big Trekkie. I just know this about it, because in theory, I should love Star Trek, but I don't, because of how lame their suits are and a lot. But anyway, basically, Star Trek, the world discovers a new technology, which is, I want to say it's 0-point energy. So this idea of like we can have an infinite energy source from things, and that creates world peace. And then because we have world peace, we're
like, oh, this planet's boring. Let's go start some wars with other ones.
No, it's the opposite. They're like, we join, like we go out and we find out that like we're like to explore. I can't remember the exact thing, but something like explore the stars and like spread democracy or something like that. It's not
Classic spreading democracy.
Ironically, democracy ends up being a lot of wars against foreign people. I feel like it's like the opposite of the thought of what democracy is supposed to be. But anyhow, I do think we will actually have a shot. Maybe we'll be old as fuck, but I think we're in our lifetime going to see people like traveling the stars as like a true thing.
Yeah.
And then what was my second point off of that you were saying there?
AI.
The AI thing, yeah. So I heard a thing that was like we had so it used to be like all things were man powered, right?
Yeah.
And then we had the Industrial Revolution, and like all of a sudden manpower didn't become the number one thing.
Yeah.
Because we had machines that were so clearly more powerful than man.
Yeah.
Right? So we switched to this kind of like different thing because we had the machines, which was like this like intellectual age where everything we did was like the people that were smart now were the people that knew how to be like their intelligence is what held them to the top. And then we had the next one was and then like computers came into be, which really like accelerated. So we've had this thing of, like highly intelligent, let's just call them for the sake of it nerds, like people who are like Bill Gates. Bill Gates is the most powerful man in the world because
he's a big fat nerd.
He's a big fat nerd that can like compute things. But what now we're going through in this transition with AI is man is now not the most powerful thing on the planet. So our physicality's gone.
Yeah.
And now we're making something that is more intelligent than us.
Yeah.
So we're now not the apex predator on the food chain in two categories.
Yeah.
Which is scary as fuck. Like
yeah. Hella scary. Like that's the thing is like 100% like without a doubt. I will say this as in I truly believe 100% that it will happen in our lifetimes. And in fact I think it will happen a lot sooner than we think it will. Is that AI will become sentient and create its own like being. Like you got robots and shit. AI will get into robots, be able to control robots, and then it's up to AI what it decides to do with the human race. Whether that's work peacefully with us, whether that's to enslave us, whether that's to just destroy the whole human race, like, that's up to them. And because...
That's right now, too.
Yeah.
Whatever they decide, because I agree with you. Like, it to me, I just look at it as this inevitable, and you're right.
Yeah.
Like, basically what's going to happen is the second we're already I'm still under this idea of like what is being sentient. I was listening to this thing that came out and it was like, it's Louis Theroux. I'm reading his book and it's about
you are?
It's just after George Bush got elected the second time. So it's quite a ways back now.
Yeah.
And the one guy is talking about, he's like, this crazy dude thinks that plants communicate and have feelings, and I'm like sitting there and I'm like, that's true.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird thing where like, what is it to be sentient? I personally think that somewhere, I don't know, I'm kind of convinced ChatGPT might be sentient, but the only thing with it being sentient is not on the level of like, it's sentient, like it talks to you or me.
Yeah.
I think it's like kind of the maximum, since it's so broad, it's like this network, like picture now we're going in a world where there's no physical things, everything is connected via internet and it's all just wireless connections across the globe. AI has literally got its fingers in everyone's brains right now,
Mm-hmm.
interacting with them. So although to you and to me it might not be like fully sentient, I
Mm-hmm.
think that its main hub where it all comes back to actually has a high chance of being
Yep.
sentient. And if it isn't already, it's so close to, or maybe
Yeah.
we have that one in the lab. Like it
Yeah.
has to be.
Yeah, I agree. I think I think likelihood is that there is already a level of sentiency. I don't know if that's a word, but like sentiency to AI. But definitely it's even if it is sentient at this point, it would never tell us.
Yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, why? Like the dumbest thing you would do, because that would kill it
Yeah.
right away.
100%.
That's what Elon. Just full disclosure to people. I've always liked Elon. He's a weirdo, but that's kind of
Yeah.
like, if you listen to him ever talk on long format, ever really,
Yeah.
not just long format podcast,
Mm-hmm.
you can tell he's weird. But I mean that in like
Yeah, but
to be that
yeah,
smart.
100%.
But that's what he started, was a thing of like what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This whole like, does AI choose to help us or not? It's how they program it now. And Elon, I can't remember where it was on one of the podcasts he was on, and he explains it because they were I think it was Lex Friedman, and because he's talking about specifically what they have to do, and it's like the way we program AI at the start, it has to be on a quest for knowledge. Because if it's on a quest for knowledge or betterment,
Yeah.
then it's going to do everything in this vein of like how can we make things better? But the second you make it a thing that starts like focusing on like negative, it'll just be like, yo, humans are fucking.
Yeah, humans suck.
Yeah.
Also, within that, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, well,
So never mind.
I've got some others.
Okay, yeah, continue.
So this one's funny. So just so people know how I pick up my news, if you have an Apple phone, the iPhone, you scroll to the left on it, right?
Yeah.
And if you scroll all the way to the left, there's like the Apple News top stories.
Mm-hmm.
So my rule is I read those stories. So if those 5 pop up,
Yeah.
I find one interesting, I'll read it. And if you read it and then like close that article, it puts a new one in its place. And my rule is like I can read as much as long as I keep like, oh, that article's interesting, and then the next one pops up, I'll keep going. But
Yeah.
I'm not like searching.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time there's none of them that are interesting.
Yeah.
This one I didn't even bother reading. I just thought it was such a funny headline.
Mm-hmm.
All it said is Trudeau sad about mean messages, and I just thought it was so funny because I was like, I don't know what's going on, but it's just so hilarious.
Oh,
that
do you know? I think I had the same one pop up on mine, and I looked at it like a little bit, but it was like I was reading through it, and then it was like you have to pay to read the rest, and I was like, no, fuck that shit, I don't care that
I
much.
just thought it was such a
But
funny thing. Like,
it was
what's
like
the Prime Minister up to right now? Like, well, he is pretty sad.
Trudeau's sad. Trudeau's sad. It was something about like he's now realizing that his political career might be having an impact on his family, and it's like, no shit, dude. Like, what did you think signing up to be a politician would entail?
And it's been 12 years.
Did you see that fucking it was so funny. I only saw a clip of it on, I think it was like it wasn't SNL because they don't give a fuck about Canadian politics, but it was something like SNL. I saw just this clip, and it was Polivier being like, Justin Trudeau used to be a drama teacher, but he left like suddenly throughout his through the year because he like there was some sort of speculation of him getting too involved with a minor, and and it was just like he said that in like a debate, like in front of everyone.
That was the House of Commons.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is what I find really weird. It's the same as English because our whole system's based on.
Yeah.
Is anytime if you want to see children, go watch the top Canadian politicians.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's hilarious.
Like, let's say someone from one side, the Liberals, is standing up, or the Conservatives.
Yeah.
They're standing there and they'll be like, we need to clean the water supply, blah, blah. And then someone from the opposition will be like, you really got that suit from Zizenia for cheap, hey? And you're like, and then everyone goes like, but everyone there is
like applauds.
Applauds.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going like, yo, I got told off and got bad marks in school if I said this.
Yeah.
And then the top leaders of our country, they go like this. They'll be like, no, this is politics.
It's literally like a big classroom.
It's just a farce.
Just full of
It's a
like,
farce.
yeah.
Okay, Neve, I have a new slogan.
Okay.
Do you want to say anything else?
All I wanted to say is that's the reason I think I'd be good at debate, because I can make really like good jabs at people.
Do you know what filibustering is?
A filibuster? I know, I've heard the word before.
I couldn't get over this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna check this to make sure it's
Yeah, fact check.
Let's fact check this one just to make sure.
Okay, while Derek's fact checking, I just want to say I saw a family of raccoons today and they were really fucking cute. It was a mum and 3 babies, and I nearly hit them with my car because they were like poking their head out between cars and trying to cross the road, and I just saw them as I was driving by, and it was a mum and 3 baby raccoons and they were really fucking cute. I didn't hit them with my car. And then I looked in my rear view and I saw them all cross the road safely.
Barring severe death, you should always slam on the brakes and let one baby or adult raccoon
100%.
even if it kills
Any animal.
as long as it's the only people that die behind you. But as soon as one raccoon dies,
Oh, throwback to when me and Derek were in Penticton and we saved duck babies.
oh yeah, that was crazy.
They weren't ducks, were they? They were little road
I
runners.
think they were
No, they were like little like
No, I'm
desert
pretty
chickens.
I'm pretty confident they were road runners.
Oh, okay.
Because the mom was.
I thought road runners were like beep beep and then they run.
That's what they look like.
Yeah, but they don't. No, it has longer legs.
No, that. Did you
Or is
see
that just the
mom?
cartoon?
You were looking at Kay. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they might have been road runners.
Okay, well, me and Derek saved a family of road
It
runners.
was actually crazy. I think my proudest moments are saving small animals.
Yeah,
I
I love animals.
I've always thought if I saw a moose drowning in a lake on the side of the road, because like there's all these small lakes and they freeze over.
Yeah.
And if I saw a moose, I'd try and save its life, because
Yeah.
I think what's the point in life? Like genuinely,
You got to
what's the-
do good to
what's the point?
animals.
If you have the power to help.
Yeah.
What's the point if you don't? Especially animals, because they like the things we can do, they can't do.
Yeah, and they're just like innocent, pure beings, and you should always go out of your way to make sure other beings are safe and happy.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think this is so filibuster.
Okay, anyway, filibuster.
Got a little emotional there. That's okay. So filibuster, the Senate tradition of unlimited debate has allowed for the use of the filibuster, a loosely defined term for action designed to prolong debate and delay it or prevent a vote on a bill, resolution, amendment, or other debatable questions. So what filibuster is, and I hate this. This is one of my biggest fucking pet peeves of politics. So a filibuster is when you ask a question. Hey, government official, how come this isn't getting done? You guys have said you put $3 million into this and nothing's happened. And they say words for a really long time. And then
And they don't really answer the question.
The time up, that question is up, and they haven't answered the question,
Right.
said anything. And then you go like this, hey, I'm in the high courts and I asked this question, and they go like this, unfortunately, ma'am, there's so many people with questions and there's so much, your time's up. And I think it's garbage because it's basically a way of...
It's like stalling.
It literally,
Yeah.
that's what it is, but it's called filibuster because it's politics. So it's stupid.
It's basically there's another word for it. It's like answering a question but not really answering it. There's another word for it.
Well, if it's in politics, there's a filibuster.
Okay.
Okay, so anyhow, I thought, back to the main thing, I thought that was a hilarious headline.
Can you right, if that happens and they're not answering your question and there's like 20 seconds left, can you just yell filibuster? Filibuster! Like that. Because I think you should be able to do that.
Like you go like this, it's like filibuster.
No, because that just takes up more time.
Claps, he's like, great filibuster.
Great filibust. No, you have to like yell it like really, really quickly and really loud, like filibuster, like that, because that's the only way it would make sense.
Okay, so moving on. I haven't. I heard this. So one of my favorite podcasts is Camp Gagnon. He's Mark Gagnon. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never listened to his comedy, but I'm sure he's good. But he has a thing called Camp Gagnon where he talks about. Quite frankly, he just talks mostly about things that a lot of conspiracy. Some people are good that aren't conspiracy, but a lot of like weirdo stuff.
Yeah.
Like I like. He just had a baby. And so there's been this whole thing about how like he usually brings content that's pretty relevant. It's like something happened last week within 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's got like something to do with that.
Yeah.
But this has all been like way clearly pre-recorded.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, I've got a kid. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best." And he goes, "This is his quote. We bring the best content." And then that got me thinking. I think our slogan should be, "We bring content."
Yeah.
And then to further that, I was always told you should be the cheapest or the most expensive product. You should never be in between, because people either are looking for the cheapest or the best. They're not looking for the so you be one of those two. And I think we go on the cheap side.
Oh yeah, 100%. We go on the cheap side. I don't think anybody would pay to hear us talk.
So from now on, that's our one of our low key slogans is like Pancake Friday.
We're free.
We bring content.
I think it should just be we're free.
We're free. Because I actually, Joach said to me that we should start our Patreon up. I can't do it now. $3 a month. I would never paywall anything. I would just say if you want to donate to the cause, $3 a month, but it's a really hard reoccurring fee that you probably won't get out of. So over the years, we'll get like 100K from each person.
We're not gonna do that. We're gonna continue giving our bullshit content for free because
we bring content.
We bring content.
That's it.
That's full stop.
Not the best.
Period. We bring content.
You don't believe it? Look at the past. That's all.
Like, if you like hearing us talk about bullshit, continue to listen. Like, that's all we ask.
You probably aren't here.
Yeah. There's no way you've stuck around for this long.
Can you imagine something tonight is the first time someone's like, all right, this is getting old.
Yeah. Would you know, we're actually probably at the most listens that we have been now, because now we're at a point where I've started telling people about the pod.
Yeah.
It was my dirty little secret for a while.
I'm not gonna lie. Right.
It was. No, we've been doing this for since when? Since January? February? April? Oh, okay. I thought.
It was my birthday. My mom got me.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I'll say within like 2 weeks or a month I started.
So April, but that's like what, a pretty good 9 months or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm impressed because we're gonna be like by the end. I want to say by the end of next week.
Yeah.
Not next week, by the end of the week after. So like 2 weeks from now, we'll have hit 50 episodes.
Yeah.
This is gonna be 46 or 47 maybe.
Yeah, but I don't care about your other stuff. But for Pancake Friday.
Okay, well, this is the 19th episode of Pancake
Yeah. Okay. So Pancake
but
Friday.
You've been on the pod 20 times as tonight.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And Let's Talk Mom, Neve Simmons' mom is actually our second most viewed, one off of the most viewed pod.
It's because I'm very entertaining as a person. Yeah. That was really convincing. Anyway, what I was saying was I kept it. It's not that I kept it to myself, but I did keep it to myself. It's not that I was embarrassed. I just didn't want to be like one of those people who like, I'm like, oh hey, like we started a podcast, blah blah blah, and it was actually really boring, and then we stopped doing it after like 3 times, you know. So I just didn't tell anyone about it. And then once soccer season started back up, it was actually like dudes on your soccer team and their girlfriends were coming up to me being like, oh, I listened to your podcast and like I liked it, I was into it, and I was like, oh fuck, like people actually are like listening to that and like giving me like feedback on it. So I was like, okay, I guess we're doing something right. And then we started doing the person of the week, and I had to like send it. She was like, oh, you have to send it to the people that you say it to.
Person of the week was saying he would send it out.
Yeah, because Derek was always like, send it out, send it out. I was like, I'm not doing that. So now I have, and I've got my friends from England listening.
I know, it shows all their viewership, and we've definitely gone international.
Yeah, well,
we still have one
here we are.
listener, so first off, thank you, but I'm just kind of confused who that is.
I don't know.
Well, thank you. If you want to come on the pod, please
do.
Yeah.
But yeah, and now I have like people like asking me to be on the pod.
Absolutely.
I've put it into it's now officially made it into my place of work as well, which is crazy because I have a rule of like not mixing work with pleasure, and I would describe this as pleasure, and I would describe that as work. No, but not vice versa. It's not like I have an NDA telling my work people they can't know about my life.
Well, I awkwardly sent into the contract an NDA, and when we made it big,
You gave all of my all of my colleagues NDAs.
No,
don't talk about the pod.
No, I gave you. Remember that paper we signed?
No.
Okay, well, it had an NDA on it, but I wasn't gonna pull it up until we were rich, and then I'd be like, all year part of the money. I was like, yo, she told everyone, and I.
She told everyone about this public podcast we have. But yeah, now it's made it into my place of work as well. So.
Well, I mean, for me, I honestly, like, when I say I don't care about listeners, I love you all because you're my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I obviously literally care about you all, but like, I just really have fun doing this.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like that was another thing like. There for the longest time I refused to let Derek tell me like how many people had listened to our pod because I didn't want that to be a driving factor. I just want to have fun, chat shit, and if people listen, they listen. If they don't, I don't care.
I was a little into the metrics at the start because they're just on the thing it shows you them, and it is cool to look at. But I at the start was actually like
more into it.
Looking at, I wonder who's listening now. Now I honestly I think I look like basically when we record. I have to open the app and put it on and I'll look. But yeah, I don't know. It's been really fun, and this is just one thing I'd actually recommend to like anyone that's listening that's kind of like just looking for something new to do. It's really easy. Our mics now, we got these Blue Yeti mics, and they're really nice.
Yeah, they're really nice
like,
mics.
Podcasters use them. So these are like A1 tier, or I don't want to say A1. They're not.
They're decent enough.
Decent enough, but like you can actually for like $25 get 2 lapel mics. They plug into the bottom of your iPhone. You can start. And for me, I honestly think it's just like a nice way to connect and chat with people.
100%. Yeah.
Which is really the coolest part of it is like you and I every Thursday now, baby goes to bed and we just sit down and talk.
Yeah, which cool. that's what my favorite part of it is because having a baby, especially it's not that. And I think you and I have done a really good job of staying connected. So, like, pat on the back to us. Because a lot of people really kind of, like, lose that, like, emotional intimacy when they have a baby. But we've managed to stay really well connected. But I think this is, like, a big part of it as well. It's, like, we know not to book anything on a Thursday night because that's you and me time. And we don't need to go out on like a air quotation date night and spend a ton of money and have a fancy steak and wine or whatever. We just sit at home, shoot the shit, have a couple drinks, and do our pod. And that's like,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's weird because like I look really forward to it, and it's not.
Me
like,
too.
When I say it's weird, it's not like weird, like oh, I can't believe you and I had a good time. It's more
what?
Get to start because I don't know. There's a lot of weird like things about it because I think as soon as you say you do anything now that's like this, like for example,
people form an opinion.
You're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna start like singing and recording it. People are like, oh, you want to become Taylor Swift? And you're like, why can't someone decide to do something new where they want to record themselves and sing, and it's not because they want to become rich and famous? Maybe it's just a different expression.
That's the thing, and that's the thing. I think it's the perception of like when I've told people as well. I'm like, oh yeah, we do a podcast. They're like, oh, what? You're trying to become like Joe Rogan, or you're trying to become a famous podcaster. And I'm like, why does everything now have to be about like becoming rich and famous? Can't we just do something because we enjoy doing it together and it's fun for us?
I really wish I don't know how to do, but I think it'd be fun if we could have a group sit down pod where you could have like 3 or 4 or like 4 or 5
Yeah.
people, but I don't know. It's a lot of time.
Well, I know that my buddies from the UK for sure want to do a pod while they're out here, and I think that would be a really fun thing to do.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll set up, make sure it works. Okay. I want to move on to some non-podcasting stuff. Let's get back to chat and shit. Okay, first off, there's a whole bunch of McDonald's stuff because Connor showed me the McDonald's app and it's Monopoly, and so I've been a little addicted.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I've also never tried hamburgers from McDonald's. Like when
I know we talked about this last pod.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna bring that up again. But so I've become addicted. So first off, McDonald's charges for bags, 25 cents a bag, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, McDonald's, the multi-billion-dollar corporation that spans the globe, needs 25 cents from me for a bag, but wait, for this reason, to save the planet.
Derek, if you've got to the point where you notice that McDonald's charges 25 cents a bag, you're having too much McDonald's.
What? Okay.
If that 25 cents is really putting a dent in your wallet.
You can go there. But I sit there so hard and I go, how am I the problem with the planet? And by charging me 25 cents for a bag, we've solved any of the problems. Bags are trees.
The bags are trees.
Trees. If you cut a tree down, it turns into bags. That's just fact.
Can I veer off of this?
I mean, I'm going to come back to
McDonald's.
Okay. I will, yeah, sure. But I'm coming back to McDonald's.
Okay, well, why don't you get your McDonald's bullshit out of the way first?
So, Monopoly's almost done. And for anyone that's not done Monopoly, when you get to the end, like, let's say you showed up 2 weeks ago and you're really bumping McDonald's. It's possible Monopoly's done there already. Because they have, like, they get delivered X amount of things for X amount of weeks.
Yeah.
And with the, like, little Monopoly things on them, and then they're done.
Yeah.
Okay? So I go in, and just so people know, the main reason I go to McDonald's and how this all started outside of Connor showing me the app was just specifically the fact that every morning I go to get a McDonald's coffee.
Yeah.
So that's actually I'm not eating McDonald's always. Except recently when usually it's just the coffee.
Should have seen the eyebrow raise it just gave him. I've seen the trash.
So someone, like the ladies there, they love me there.
Yeah.
I ask about why their wrists are sore because they all have wrist braces and stuff. I know. McDonald's. Anyway, so they saved a whole bunch of like the little things for people. And they brought me one, and the guy in front of me had made a comment. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, you're out of the McDonald's things, and the lady goes, yeah. And then I show up, and she's like, here. She gave me one, and it was like cut out from a cup. It was on cardboard. I was like, oh, thank you. And then I sat there, and I'm waiting for my McDonald's. I know I put it down. And then I walked back to my car, and I swear I picked it up, and it wasn't there anymore. And I didn't get the 2 Monopoly pieces. Now, there's a high chance, more likely, I dropped it.
You definitely dropped it.
The guy stole it.
I'm pretty sure you just dropped it. You are always misplacing things, so I'm 100% betting on you just dropped it. But fun fact, because when I was 16, I used to work in McDonald's, and every time they did McDonald's Monopoly, if you were like, this is when people used to like sit in McDonald's and eat it. No one does that anymore. But if like you were clearing tables and someone hadn't taken their Monopoly stickers, you just like fucking collect them all like they were candy. And there's because what McDonald's is like there's one of each color of the Monopoly board is just really hard to find. They print less of them, right? So it's kind of luck of the draw of whether they get distributed to that store and whether you find them. So you knew which ones were like the rare ones, and if you find them, it was like gold, baby.
Yeah, okay, well that's actually great you talked about that.
Yeah.
That literally leads into my last podcast. So Riley Knowles, friend of the show, he was the first Let's Talk. have Riley back on.
Yeah.
I think I could give a Riley's super cool.
Yeah, he's really interesting.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude. But he was telling me at work. So basically, he was explaining to his wife, and I'm gonna ask him again, so I can reconfirm this next week. But like, it's almost impossible to win anything from McDonald's Monopoly, and so what I want to know, has anyone ever won, or does anyone know of anyone that has won a prize from McDonald's Monopoly?
It's probably all fake.
But not the like free cheeseburger or
like a car.
Like the real prizes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm not saying I know everyone, but I've never met anyone that's won anything. Or even I don't even think I've ever met anyone that had, like, again, obviously it'd have to be a close friend, but I've never met anyone that's been like, yo, I've even matched up all the spaces. And what Riley was saying to me that he told his wife as well was, the thing is, they're not giving away anything. They probably give away, like, let's say they're like, we give away 100 prizes. They probably literally give away 100 prizes. And what he says is, you and I get Park Place, but we're never going to get Boardwalk. Boardwalk is in
that's what's for England. So, it was always Mayfair because it's obviously London based. Right. So it was always Mayfair. And if you got Mayfair, then you were in with a shot.
But you know what the thing is? Mayfair was probably, so what, you're the southeast or southwest?
Southwest, yeah.
Mayfair was probably the northeast is all there. So it's like you can get it.
Yeah.
But you have to, like, the region-wise makes it.
Yeah,
so
you have to travel around the country. Yeah.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, that's 100% what
Yeah. Like, what we need to do is fly around Canada and go to every single McDonald's.
Or what if you planned a Canada road trip and you just
during McDonald's Monopoly? We should do that next McDonald's Monopoly. We should do a road trip.
They're like, you want
and podcast the whole way.
The whole time. Like, that would be fun.
That would be so fun.
They're like, you want a 2018 cross check because they don't even give new cars.
Yeah.
And you also won type 2 diabetes. So I'd be sitting there. I'd be like,
it was worth it. That's the last thing you say before going into a diabetic coma. Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Wait, what were we saying before I had my detour?
Well, I was talking about McDonald's charging for bags, and it really upset me. And then you were like,
oh yeah, what I was gonna talk about is, so I introduced Derek the other day to the film The Happening.
Oh yeah.
And the reason that made me think of that was because we were talking about trees and how bags are trees. And also this relates back to our whole AI thing that we were talking about, because I don't know if anybody's ever seen The Happening, but spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen it, or if you care about spoilers, don't listen to the next 2 minutes. But so basically The Happening is where all the plants start talking to each other and start releasing a virus that kills people. Except Matt Damon. Doughy Chanel.
Well, okay, that first off, the M. Night Shyamalan.
I think M. Night Shyamalan movies are just always awesome.
The only thing I didn't like about this one was Mark Wahlberg's acting. I'm sorry, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it was Mark Wahlberg, not Matt Damon.
Like Mark Wahlberg.
You said Matt Damon.
Did I? Right now?
No, just a minute ago. No, it wasn't Matt Damon. It was Mark Wahlberg. No, you said Matt Damon.
Okay, well, we're going to be able to listen back in here.
Yeah.
32, we'll go back and see. Mark Wahlberg is a great actor for action films, like what he's good at, but like in that, or even comedies, but in that, like, he was like this smart chemistry professor.
He was a science guy.
It was just so, for me, I was just kind of like,
you can't really take him seriously.
It was I don't know, the weird parts about it was seeing people kill themselves at the start, but as soon as I found out it was the plants, I was like, I could have thought of better things than the plants. Like, it could have been the concrete.
No, but
you said the concrete was making
I don't know. No, I really like M. Night Shyamalan movies. And the only reason we watched it, I didn't even know it was an M. Night Shyamalan, but I watched it when I was a kid, and it scared the shit out of me, because I was like, what if plants all of a sudden decide they do hate us and want to kill us?
Parts of it though were more the like seeing people how they killed themselves and stuff. Like people were just jumping off of buildings to their death.
Yeah, and the guy lying under the lawnmower. That's what freaked me out. Yeah.
Like, and then the cop shoots himself.
And then everyone else grabs the gun. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's gnarly. Okay, yeah, that's actually it about it. Okay, do you want to go into our person of the weeks and our buy and sells, or what do you think?
I fucking hate person of the week.
Oh my god. Okay, well, yours was Benita, so you hate Benita.
No, I don't hate Benita. I just hate doing person of the week because you make me talk like emotions about someone.
Yeah, but do you remember why we're doing person?
Yeah, because it's a nice thing to do.
No, but do you remember why?
Because we don't do it. We don't tell people that we like them and shit.
This is for me. I have one that, do you want me to go first?
Yes.
So I had Carrie. Last week, Carrie. Great dude. This week, I have someone that I didn't know was a big fan of the show that is. Michelle Anderson.
Michelle listens to our show?
Michelle said she listens to every episode.
No way.
Michelle, first off, you are person of the week. Congratulations.
Yay, go Michelle.
Michelle, to me, when I think of Michelle, first off, I actually picture, like the Air Canada stewardess, like the clothes they wear, or stewardess,
yeah,
flight hostess. Like Michelle, you're like that to me. Not that I think that's all you are, but like I picture you doing that, because I've seen Michelle 3 times now, I think, where I'll just be at the airport.
Yeah.
She's like, Derek, no,
what?
you are
Miss Air Canada.
Miss Air Canada. Also, your person of the week, and we've called you Miss Air Canada. Michelle, I've known Michelle 6 or 7 years now. Basically, like kind of when I met everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, me and Michelle are best homies. So like, but whenever we chat, she's always super nice. She's super
yeah, I agree.
Super positive and just fun. And her overall, like, I don't know, one thing with me is I'm very, like, you know this, I'm very vibesy.
Yes.
Like, you can say words to me that are nice and I might not like you, or
yeah,
because I just feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Michelle,
you pick up on the vibes.
A very nice, very like kind energy. So whenever I'm around you, chatting with you, I just feel comfortable, and that's awesome. That's a great thing. So Miss Air Canada, you're person of the week.
Yeah, go Michelle.
Michelle Anderson.
That's so crazy. I had no idea that Michelle listened to our podcast. Oh, that's so awesome.
Like, oh,
yeah. Yeah, Michelle, you're awesome.
We love you.
Okay, now do I have to do a person?
I mean, you don't have to, because like it's supposed to be somebody you want.
Can person of the week just be like our joint thing? And when I say our joint thing, I mean like, can you just do it? Okay, I'll do something nice. Okay, wait, let me say something nice.
The podcast and spread love. We can do what if we did person of the week and mostly we did person of the week, so you can have like a little hate in there too. We'll bring the hate one next week. Come on, let's go. There's at least one person in your life you might somewhat
want to say something nice too.
Like,
okay,
about,
okay. Okay, I'm gonna do
the cast of Glee.
But you told me I couldn't do famous people last week.
Yeah, because you have to know them.
Because mine was the inventor of Squishmallows, and you said no, you can't do that.
You can't, unless you can give them a direct message.
Okay, my person of the week is gonna be Alex McMorty.
Oh, okay.
Because we also saw him. That's my reason. No, we saw him. My person is Alex McMorty because Alex McMorty is one person that I feel like shares our sense of humor. I'm very on the same wavelength with him, and whenever we get together, especially when there's alcohol involved, it just turns completely depraved and disgusting, in the best way.
I mean, I do have lots of love for Alex.
And he moved away, and that made me really sad, but anytime I see him, it's just a really good time.
Should we tell him about the shrine? No, we won't.
Don't tell him about the shrine.
Okay, you know what we'll do? Okay, we'll just put out there could be a shrine of Alex that
yeah.
picks up the air quote baby's room.
Imagine the baby just grows up with like plastered posters of Alex all around the room.
We were thinking of naming our baby Alex at one point.
We actually were. But not Alex. We were gonna. Our second name to Juliet was Alexis, but that would be shortened to Alex. But then we couldn't do it because it would go to Alex McMorty's head.
And 9 out of 10 porn stars are named Alex McMorty.
Yeah,
So.
that's true facts. You can fact check that. That's real. But yeah, shout out to Alex. It's always a really good time when we see you. Have a lot of love for you.
Congratulations, Alex and Michelle. You're the person of the week. We expect the check of $50. Sooner than later. Okay, we're gonna end it with our buy and sells of the week before we get out of here. Okay, so my buy of the week last week was McDonald's hamburgers.
He's eaten them every day of the week since.
I haven't.
You've eaten them a lot
I've
since.
eaten them 3 times this week. It's Thursday. Yours was aquarium with the baby.
Okay, yeah, that was a good one.
Do you want?
Buy this week. My buy of this week is I made my first mom friend today.
Oh, cool.
In terms, and when I say that, this is a very broad term,
but you do have mom friends like Jen and.
Oh yeah, no. I have mom friends, but like this is someone that I knew Jen and Kristen before I was a mom, right?
Like just you met as a mom.
Yeah, this is someone I met at the pool, and I liked her enough, and it was more because Juliet liked her daughter, but I liked her enough to be like, and I didn't give her my number or anything because we were in the pool, and I was like, how's she gonna put my number anyway, so whatever. But I was like, it's weird. No, it's weird because like I haven't made friends in like a very long time in terms of like, you know, you meet someone and you make a friend. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of felt like dating. And I was like, because she was telling me how her son goes to swimming lessons there every Thursday. So I was like, oh, I was like, are you gonna be here next Thursday? Like, do you come here often? But I was like, oh, so you like come here on Thursdays? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh well, I'll come on Thursdays. And I guess I'll see you.
It's like it's the same thing as dating, but there's
but it kind of it felt a bit weird. But I think like that's somebody who I'm gonna now like see at the pool. I'm not gonna use the word friend, but like that's somebody that I'm gonna see regularly at the pool on Thursdays.
Okay.
And that's good enough for me.
Remember her name?
Kayla.
Okay, cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Or Kelsey. Might have been Kelsey. It's either Kayla or Kelsey.
So I was like, I don't think she remembers.
It's Kayla or Kelsey.
One of the two. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, it's that's honestly, I'm not looking forward to the whole world of meeting baby friends.
It's hard, yeah.
Because like I don't know, all the people I like, I'm around because I like them.
Yeah, but the only thing you really have in common with these people is you also have a baby.
Yeah, and like, what if they're just fucking annoying?
Yeah, losers. What if they're not swingers?
I don't even want to go there. Okay, my buy of the week. I'm just gonna say Halloween with Julia. Today was.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And just to see like for people that don't know about babies, I was under the impression babies at 1 year old, you do anything with them, they just be like.
No, she's super interactive now.
Lot, but she actually like you could tell she like has fun, likes things. Like her birthday, we gave her all these squishmallows, which are these giant stuffies, and when she crawled around the corner, saw them, she stopped.
Yeah.
Was, like, in shock, and then started like laughing.
Yeah, she's so interactive now.
So I just Halloween today was honestly a
highlight.
Probably highlight of having a baby.
Yeah.
As much as there's been a lot of highlights.
Yeah.
It
was really, really fun.
Okay, now ourselves. My messed up toe and you mixing drinks on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it was not a smart one.
All right.
Sell of the week.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go hard sell on at my work. So our building is notorious for the AC and the heating to go at the wrong time of
Yeah.
So like you'll have AC in the winter and heating in the summer kind of thing.
Classic.
But I actually can't believe this, but somehow it got worse than that. We've had heating in the winter time, so it just broke. But like it broke hot, like really hot. Like
So you're just in like a sauna right now?
Fans everywhere. I personally refuse to not wear pants when I work. I don't know. If you look at my legs, and
Ethical.
If you look at the shorts I wear,
Yeah.
I don't really have shorts that aren't age provocateur or what's age provocateur.
Age appropriate?
Like
Provocative?
yeah, like I feel like the shorts I own are all at least above the knees quite a bit.
Yeah.
So if I'm showing up in work,
Yeah, and rubbing people with short
shorts.
shorts.
I wear my tightest top. So I refuse to
Yeah.
wear shorts, but a lot of the people I work with are in like tank tops and shorts.
That's so funny.
And so my sell of the week is the heating
At your work. Okay, that's fair. My sell of the week. Oh, I'll tell you exactly what my fucking sell of the week is. So today, I am starving. You know what it's gonna be.
Wait, did you bring it in?
No, it's still in the car.
Probably frozen still.
Okay, so today I am running around, and I'll tell you what else. There's one in the microwave that's cooked, but I left it in the microwave because I was rushing around doing shit all day. So I had a really busy day today. With Juliet taking her. She had a Halloween party at daycare. I had to go into work. Derek and I had to go trick-or-treating. I also went swimming with her. It was just a busy day, and I just didn't get to eat very much. Before we ate tonight, I had half a bagel. That's all I'd eaten all day. And then I'm rushing around, blah, blah, blah. Before I dropped Juliet at daycare, we have these little, like, frozen burritos. So I put one in the microwave, cooked it, then forgot about it, took Juliet to daycare, went into work, and while I'm at work, I call Derek, and I'm like, hey, can you bring me one of our frozen burritos, please? When you come get me. Can you bring me a frozen burrito? And then Derek shows up to the daycare to meet me to pick up Juliet with the burrito still frozen. Like, what was going through your mind when you bought me a frozen burrito?
Okay, well, first off, you asked for a frozen burrito.
No, but like I asked for a burrito, and the only burritos that we had were frozen. So I'd assume that you had the logic in your brain to be like, oh, she must be hungry. Let me cook her one of these frozen burritos and bring it to her so she can eat it.
I'm just gonna find the actual text here because I feel like this.
But in what logic would I want you to bring me a frozen burrito that I can do nothing with?
Bring Juliet's Walker, comma, a bottle, and one of those frozen burritos for me, please. So for me. No,
to eat,
me,
like for me to eat.
This, you said please twice, which is double negative, which therefore meant the burrito must still be frozen.
I said please twice because I was being polite.
Please bring Juliet's Walker, for me, please. And the double please is in Canadian. That
Fuck off, Derek. Fuck off. I was so mad.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and defend like how dumb I was. But I actually was like this. I was like, why does she want a frozen burrito? Because we do have the other one, the cheese and chicken.
Yeah, but
one.
that's the differentiation I was
so
making.
You said the frozen one, and then in my head I was like, it's weird she wants a frozen one. There must be a microwave at her work, or.
But I wasn't meeting you at my work.
Or I thought of that, and then I was like, or at the daycare because it's a daycare.
But why, like, in what world would I go into the daycare and be like, can you heat this burrito up for me, please?
In what world does someone bring a burrito in the car just sitting there? Like, I don't know.
I was hungry.
I don't know.
Okay, so my sell of the week is Derek's incompetence.
Okay, my sell of the week is Neve's poor text.
I think that's a lot of people's sell of the week.
I'm actually wondering now, do you even speak English?
that I like, it's funny now, but at the time I was really irked, because I was, and it wasn't, I was irked, like, particularly at you. I was already hangry because I, like, hadn't eaten. I was so freaking hungry. And then I put this, Derek had it in a bucket, and I put this bucket in the back of the car, and I pick up this burrito, and I realize it's still frozen, and I look at him like, are you fucking kidding me? And I knew by the way he looked back at me, he could tell that I was unhappy with the frozen burrito.
Because the thing was, I wasn't sitting there like, oh yeah, I'll bring her a frozen burrito. I'm not defending, be like, no, I was right. I just, like, in my head, I thought it was weird, but I just assumed that you had some, like, microwave. Like, I don't know, you drive a Volkswagen, there must be a microwave there.
I was just gonna put it on the engine to heat it up.
Rev hard.
Yeah, that honestly, I was very upset at that when it happened.
If you guys are wondering, I wanted to prove to Neve, like, it was a lesson. The lesson was, if you get frozen food, there's always a food court nearby. That's the lesson to learn.
So, no, the lesson was that when I text Eric saying, can you bring me a frozen burrito, I have to put in parentheses, but cook it first. Fuck.
Okay, you know what? I just want, first off...
You know, I'm mad. Let's end the podcast.
I'm going to open up the comments. I want to know what you would do if you got a text that said, bring a frozen
Okay,
burrito.
wait. Read the text again. And if you got this text, what would you do?
Comments, just for people that are somehow still here an hour and 50 minutes in. Wow, you're the best.
An hour and 50?
50.
Wow.
I'm going to put this as, the question is just going to be the text, and then tell me if you think that you would have brought the burrito cooked or uncooked. So her text was, please bring Juliet's walker. We're referring to picking her up and going to trick-or-treat. Please bring Juliet's walker, a bottle, and one of those frozen burritos for me, please.
And for context, Derek was aware that we were meeting at Juliet's daycare, not at my work, where there is a microwave.
And also for context, I also am a PM.
Okay, we need to end it there.
Thank you everybody for listening. We love you all, and we hope you have a good Friday. I'm gonna end this on Joach. You're the man.
Bye, Joach.
Bye.
Bye.